Face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Exaggerations, but whatever. I'm with it. That's a solid movie, man. Solid movie. A lot of dips and dives, some hyperbole, a little too much. But
What would you rate it though?
I gotta build up before I get to the rating. There you. But definitely a solid movie.
1 out of 10 because there's not a lack of white people.
Okay. Anyways, the name of the movie is City of God from 2002. Now, I've seen this before a long time ago. I don't remember it. Fucking haze to me. But watched it again, and yeah, it's a solid movie. It's a solid movie. What do we call this? This is like a gangster movie, right? It actually follows a lot of the genres of a gangster movie. There's like certain things that are funny, some that are like, I guess, scary. I don't know if scary is the right word, but that are like violent and, I guess scary moments for the characters. They make certain things that are like absolutely, that should be horrifying in someone's world is like kind of, the movies always make it feel normalized in the setting where the movie is. In this case, Brazil, in a place called I guess they call it the City of God in Rio de Janeiro. Right? Yeah. And we're following this kid around Rocket, and I guess all the people he interacts with in this city, and you can see how one thing leads to another as far as all the characters and their interactions. Like one event with one character leads to an event with another character, leads to an event with another character. And they kind of pull it full circle, I think. With the little kids where he made one of it, like, what's his name? Little Z. He made one of these street kids kill made one of his street kids kill some other street kids, or kill one of them at least. And it came full circle where that motherfucker got fucking 40 holes put in him by those same little kids. It's like, god damn, full fucking circle. And interesting enough, I don't know how much of a true story it's based on, but the Rocket character, he actually is like the journalist of the movie. He's narrating, and he's not a part of the criminal aspects of that city or that town or whatever, or neighborhood, but he's like observing all of it from the outside. So he actually is he is a journalist, basically. Even before he got the camera, he was already a journalist. Paying attention from the outside. Although he did try to do some gangster stuff, but just didn't work out. He's like, "Oh, you're too nice. I don't want to kill this guy. Or I don't want to rob this guy. This guy's too nice. Or this chick's too hot. I don't want to fucking rob her. Fuck." But all in all, cool little movie, man. Cool little movie. I 2,000,000% recommend the movie. Like, at the very least, you will be entertained. At the very least. But also I think you can get some perspective because there's so many perspectives in the movie. I think you can actually walk away with a sense of perspective. And it doesn't have to be about Brazil or anything like just perspective in general of seeing different characters interact and then their whole kind of symphony of, engaging with each other. How one event leads to the other and yada, yada, yada. I don't know if Alice Braga, though. I'll say that. Wanted more of her. But whatever. My rating, I think this is a solid 7.6. 7.6, 7.7. It's a solid movie. Solid. A to B, keeps you engaged, holds your attention, interesting shit happens, interesting characters are actually in the movie and developed. It concludes itself. It doesn't leave you hanging at the end. There's elements of realism, right? Societal realism to it. Like, it's just solid. It's a solid movie. I would want a little bit more woo-woo, something deeper underneath the surface. That's what I would ask for, especially with something like a title like City of God. Oh, let's go to woo-woo territory a bit. At least somewhere. At least with maybe the narrative, but maybe they didn't want to sully their movie. They wanted this to be what it was captured. Right? Maybe that's what they were going for, which is like, that's fine. But to make it like, God tier movie, I think you gotta add those deeper elements. And as far as like subtext, I think they went like a little bit deeper with sociological, political things, but not so much on the human front.
Walken. If Christopher Walken was in that movie, it would have been an 8.
You're thinking of Man on Fire because that one guy was in Man on Fire, and he was also in this movie. The dude with the crazy forehead. But whatever. Yeah, solid movie. 7.6, 7.7. Anyone else, please? Let me know your thoughts or opinions, whatever. Grades. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. It was like the whole storytelling was very cyclical. You
Yeah.
follow various different people's lives, so you're watching a main character, and it's not that common that you'll see the person you're following just gets gunned down, and then you're following somebody else, and then they die, and in a few cases they've even in the middle of the movie sometimes they'll just switch and show it from a different perspective what you just saw, and that made sense, and it all kind of fit together that way. um it was definitely a gangster movie, but I think the what I saw visually was much more of a war zone. Like the amount of like machine guns and like just the amount of shooting was a lot. So
Yeah.
the violence was extra, and still I do think that overall the the feeling I get following the camera, this felt very real. Like it felt uh real and realistic. It felt like it. Some of it was excessive, maybe on the violence, but the type of settings and dialogues and just the way people behaved with each other, other than like that much killing, like I felt like it was very realistic on um how they interacted, and um yeah, so I think overall, like, it's, yeah, definitely recommend it.
Yeah. And it's just, I'm gonna say this: if this was made in 2025, put on Netflix for an entire, not a movie, for a 10-episode series, I think it would take over the fucking world. To be honest with you, like we saw Narcos, and Narcos had a large audience. I think this doubles that shit. Just from the amount of characters and the interactions and how some event that happens in the beginning of the movie plays a role at the end of the fucking movie. Like, just to be complete like that, this show would, if this was a show, once again, I'm not trying to like trivialize it because this is partially someone's experience. I think there's a lot of exaggeration for the sake of entertainment, dramatization, but also like there is something realistic that he is touching on. I agree with you, Jesse. And not to trivialize whatever these guys experience, but for the sake of like, let's say someone wants a $1 million idea, there it is. This shit would take over, I think. The only thing hurting it would be, I guess, be foreign language, maybe. But then again, Squid Game's a little cartoony. I think that's why it, reads well with American audiences. But if Narcos can do good, this would double it, in my opinion. I think it's like you could even stretch out the characters even more, honestly. But that's the entertainment side. I'm not trying to trivialize the person's real life or whatever. But all right. Anyone else want to say anything about City of God 2002 before I end this clip? Going once, going twice. Sold. All right, there's your review for a pretty good movie, City of God.
You gave it a 7.7, bro.
Yeah, I did. That's it.
I'm gonna have to watch it again then.
I didn't know you valued my score that much. But thank you. Anyways, there's your review for City of God 2002. Alice Braga, come back.